Centers typically spend between 50 and 70% of their total revenue on payroll costs. This includes wages, benefits, and payroll taxes for staff, which often makes payroll the largest single expense for a child care center. For a small to medium-sized child care center, payroll costs can range from $200,000 to $500,000 annually, depending on the number of employees, wages, and other associated costs. Larger centers or centers in high-cost areas may spend significantly more on payroll, sometimes reaching $1 million or more per year. After 40 years in childcare, I've experienced it all: the laughter, the challenges, and the burnout. I'm Debra Rinell, and I'm here to share the realities of childcare leadership with you. Starting as an unexpected entrepreneur facing the pressures of leadership, I've been through the same struggles that you are likely navigating today. More importantly, I discovered strategies to not just survive, but truly thrive in this rewarding field, and I'm ready to share it all with you. Ready to elevate your center and reignite your passion for childcare? Let's get started. Welcome back to Care and Connect, the Childcare Leadership podcast dedicated to helping childcare professionals sharpen their leadership skills, grow their centers, and provide outstanding care for children and families. I'm your host, Debra Rinell, and today we're diving into one of the most essential and complex areas of childcare management, payroll, specifically within the expense quadrant of the Care for method. Now, we all know that paying your team isn't just about cutting the checks, right? It's about acknowledging the hard work and passion that your staff brings to their roles every day. Competitive wages don't just attract talented individuals. They help you retain your best people, which means more stability for the children in your care. But here's the real challenge. How do you pay your top performers fairly while keeping your budget in check? We're going to get into that today. We're focusing on the payroll pillar of the expense quadrant from the Care for method because it's one of the largest costs in any childcare business, and it seemed like the right place to start. When done right, competitive wages lead to higher job satisfaction. No surprises there. Reduced turnover and a more stable learning environment. But between regulations, budgets, and rising costs, finding the right balance can feel like walking a tightrope. I mean, let's face it, we are a business, but we also purchase groceries, pay for utilities, like so many other households. And your families would agree the cost of living continues to rise, which means the cost of providing childcare does. I've been there myself, and I know how tough the balancing act can be. And today we're going to break down some strategies for managing payroll effectively, keeping your staff happy while staying within budget. I'll also share a game changer that's becoming more popular in our industry, outsourcing and virtual assistants, both here in the U.S. and abroad. I'll share with you that our program's had a virtual assistant for nearly 4 years, and it's made a huge difference in reducing administrative costs. Initially, I was skeptical, like a lot of other people I've spoken with, but our VA, who works from the Philippines, handles everything from billing to menu planning. And thanks to tech tools like Microsoft Teams, she's integrated into our team remotely. Honestly, she's been a lifesaver. By outsourcing some of these administrative tasks, we've not only saved on payroll, but it's also helped us stay more connected to the global childcare community. Our VA has a child of her own, and she often joins in conversations with us around different topics affecting the children in our care and what a parent's perspective might be. Something that I want to highlight to you is how outsourcing can open your eyes to the global effort that goes into improving childcare systems worldwide. If you're curious about how outsourcing can work for your center, keep listening. We've got a lot to cover. Let's talk first about the role of contractors in childcare. Right now, your mind is probably thinking, well, where would I use contractor? Whether it's US or overseas. Well, running a childcare center is like juggling a million things at once, right? From maintaining staff to child ratios, which are not the same state to state, and keeping up with government regulations, also not the same state to state, there is always something to manage. And while your full-time team is essential, sometimes your center's needs go beyond what your core staff can handle. And that's where contractors come in. So let's break down some of the types of contractors that you might consider for your center. And these are going to be in large, people that are not remote, but they're contractors because you don't need to have them full time. The first would be like specialized educators or trainers. Need a music or art program to spice up your curriculum. You can hire contractors that bring that service into you, offer part-time or occasional enrichment programs without the need for a full-time hire. Let's talk about substitute teachers or caregivers. If a key staff member is out on leave, a contractor can step in and ensure compliance with child to caregiver ratios, maintaining the quality of your care. Then there is administrative or operational, and whether it's prepping for a licensing inspection, having a consultant come in to help you do that, implementing new software, bringing in consultants can offer expert insight without the long-term commitments. They're there for a specific project. Marketing and communications specialists. I don't know about you, but marketing has become, I have been doing this for 35 years, and in the last several years, marketing has become a bit of a pain point for me. Marketing, though, is crucial for building your center's reputation in today's world. And contractors can run social media campaigns, manage your online presence, and assist with your community outreach, all without a full-time price tag. So you might be wondering, when would a contractor make sense for you? When does it make sense to hire a contractor? Here would be some examples or situations that I would recommend. Temporary or short-term needs. So think of seasonal spikes in enrollment or covering staff vacation. Contractors can fill in without the need for permanent hires. Specialized expertise, like we've already pointed out, programs like music or language enrichment that aren't part of your core offering, contractors can bring the skills you need on a flexible basis. And then cost efficiency. Full-time staff come with long-term salary and benefit commitments, while contractors allow you to pay for exactly what you need when you need it. Emergency coverage. Sometimes staff leave unexpectedly. We know this all too well, don't we? Contractors help you maintain your staffing ratios without scrambling for permanent solutions and without your being the solution when you should be overseeing your program. For example, in Washington State, providers can access a pool of background-cleared childcare workers for emergency staffing. There are some considerations, though, when you're using contractors that you're going to want to think about before you start hiring contractors. Compliance. Your contractors need to meet the same state and local regulatory requirements as full-time staff, especially if they're working directly with children. So those substitutes, and this is why with Washington State, the pool makes so much sense because they've already had their background checks cleared. Team integration. I know that they're just going to be there for a part-time purpose or occasional, but it's still critical that you set clear expectations and establish open communication to make sure that your contractors work seamlessly with your full-time team. You don't want there to be any confusion about where the lines are drawn. Contract terms. Before you bring in a contractor, be sure that you have a clear agreement in place. Sometimes they'll provide the agreement. Sometimes it's going to be up to you. If you are thinking of something specific that you could use a contractor for and you want to approach someone to be a contractor, then it's probably going to fall to you to put that agreement together, outline the scope of work, what the payment terms are going to be, and what their responsibilities are. You're going to want to have a lot of clarity when you're doing this. At the end of the day, contractors they can be a fantastic way to add flexibility and expertise to your team without the overhead of full-time employment. So now let's talk about the outsourcing to overseas contractors. Many administrative tasks don't require someone to be physically present in your center. This was the realization I came to with our VA. Using an overseas contractors can significantly reduce payroll expenses while still supporting your operations. Let me just go over some of the ways that you could do this. Administrative support. Virtual assistants can handle tasks like scheduling, billing, and processing paperwork, all remotely. This frees up your in-house team for more hands-on work with the children. And I want to just interject here a little bit as well, that having that person overseeing those things remotely, it lends a little credibility and professionalism to it all, I've noticed. One of the things that our VA has done is taken the pressure off of our center director and our administrative on-site staff in terms of things like collections or slow pays, this type of thing. And she's actually very good at it. We had a situation where a client had asked to waive a late fee, and she cited a reason there was a change in her status. And the VA very nicely and politely came back to the center director and said, well, she's never paid on time, but we'll go ahead and do it. So she honored the request, and then she told the director, but let her know that this is going to be the last time. And what's great about situations like that is while the director was the messenger, the customer didn't see the director as the one making the decision, just the one passing on the information. So our director gets to maintain that daily customer interaction and friendly relationship without being the bad guy over a bill. Another way that you could outsource overseas is payroll and bookkeeping. Our VA helps significantly with payroll. What she does is she inputs all of the data information and she notifies us when the payroll is ready to run. We go in, we take a look, we make sure everything looks accurate, and then we go ahead and run it. The time she saves us on that alone makes it worth every penny to have her. They can also help with marketing and social media. Overseas contractors can manage your digital presence. They can create content, run campaigns. They can keep your families engaged at a fraction of the cost of hiring locally. As you think about using contractors, whether local or overseas, you should take a moment to kind of map it out, just like you would with a staffing schedule. Some roles like teaching are always going to be full-time employees. But for administrative tasks, outsourcing could free up your staff or even reduce the number of employees that you need. Think about, what are your pain points? Is it enrollment paperwork, menu planning, billing, payroll? These tasks could easily be handled by contractors, virtual assistants, or outside services, allowing you to focus on what really matters, the children in your care. And also, I wanted to share that Childcare Management Solutions has recently partnered with an overseas agency whose virtual assistants are being trained specifically in childcare administrative work. So that might be something to follow if you're thinking about doing this, and reach out and take a look into that because it's specific to childcare. And it's always nice to have someone on your team. Our VA has been with us a long time. She knows a great deal about childcare operations after 4 years, but it did require some training as she wasn't familiar with the childcare industry. These are just some things to think about and to consider. If you're thinking that having a contractor, whether local, U.S., as substitute teachers, as we mentioned, like Washington State does with their pool of backup childcare workers, or whether you're thinking that this could take some things off of your plate or off of your administrative budget and you could better allocate those resources to other needs in your program. We hope that this has been helpful information for you. I'm Debra Rinell. That's it for today's episode of Care and Connect, the Childcare Leadership Podcast. I thank you for tuning in. And if you're going to be in the Anaheim, California area, November 6th through the 9th, I hope you'll come by the booth 853 Childcare Management Solutions to stop in, say hello, and tell me a little bit about your program. I would love to get to know you. Thank you for listening. Join me next time as we explore more strategies to help you run a thriving childcare center. Thank you for joining me on this journey through this rewarding world of childcare leadership. Remember that we're all navigating this together. Whether you're feeling challenged or feeling motivated, know that when you take time to be the visionary of your program, you can elevate your center and ignite your passion. Until next time, I'm Debra Rinell, reminding you to take care of yourself with the same dedication you give to others.